The opener, I believe, was silence to start.
Yeah.
So he would not have been able to do it without the force of will in there.
It was kind of also before that silence. It was a Gitaxian probe. So if the mind break trap,
the mind break trap would have been for the silence, which wouldn't have done enough.
Right. I mean, well, I mean, if he would have probed him, he would have seen, oh, he has mind break trap. If I can't get through the mind break trap, then I don't go off. But he could easily get through the mind break trap.
Bunko Artist says, didn't Jacob Corey turn one? He may have, but like I said, the first one I have seen in the last
while
few months.
you were watching, while you were doing commentary. Now, so we're underway here.
Jeffrey Kieper with Junk on the right, Ben Green on the left with Blue White Red Delver. A Swords to Plowshares taking out, it looks like a Tarmogoyf.
And it looks like this is still game one between these two. Now we know we did hear results from one of the
other matchups. Yeah, that's correct. Romario Neto with Mud is up 1 game against Esperblade.
So we'll find out more about that as soon as we get information. Right now, you've got Ben Green on Blue White Red Delver versus Jeffrey Kieper on Junk. The board state: Jeffrey with 6 lands in play and an Umezawa's Jite, though no one to hold it. Plays a 7th land, facing off Ben Green with 3 lands and a Grim Lavamancer. And it looks like a Maelstrom Pulse from Jeffrey to deal with that Lavamancer. Now, I don't know if that Lavamancer is summoning sick. I imagine it's not because there's no tapped land there, so I think Ben able to potentially activate the Grim Lavamancer. And that's what he does.
2 to the dome. Ben Green knocks Jeffrey down to 4. Spell Pierce sitting in Ben Green's hand.
Yeah, not very effective there against the Maelstrom Pulse.
I think
with,
another land.
That many.
With that many land out.
Right.
I think Ben just drew another land.
Didn't get a good look. I do see it looks like a Misty Rainforest in the front of his hand. That might be the land that he just drew. So he just passes back. Jeffrey now doing the work of untapping his lands and finds a Windswept Heath. And he has a Bayou. So we've got all lands all the time.
I mean, it's the Nile here. Flood all over the place.
It is. What was that? I see a Daze. I see a Lightning Bolt. Wow, Ben really just needs
Jeffrey
to
close
crack
to
that
death.
fetch. If Jeffrey could just have to crack that fetch, Ben is able to bolt him out of the game.
Thoughtseize, which is a very dangerous card right now
Certainly
against a burn deck.
Now, no need to crack a fetch. Jeffrey tries to cast a Thoughtseize. Ben bolts him in response and then lets the Thoughtseize resolve.
Yeah, Ben could use a...
Well, Ben could just use pretty much anything, other burn spell at this point. Something to do just 1 more damage. So we've just got land go happening between both of these guys, and they are
four players. Look at this: flood.
Okay,
Grim
so we've got a
Lavamancer.
play.
There we go.
From Ben. And Swords to Plowshares from Jeffrey. So here Ben could fight over that. Jeffrey with just 1 other card in hand, and he's going to go ahead and fight over it.
Force of Will, tossing maybe a Daze?
I would get rid of Daze here. Feel like your opponent's very likely to have that 1 extra mana over the 2 from Spell Pierce. But he values the Daze and I guess the free, quote-unquote free counterspell over the one that that only targets non-creatures and costs a mana.
Is that a Bojuka Bog?
It is a Bojuka Bog. So
Bojuka Bog nuking Ben Green's graveyard. Ben Green, no Snapcasters in his deck, so it doesn't really do anything other than...
it deals with the Grim Lavamancer. Except what we know...
1 damage is all that Lavamancer needs to do.
Yeah, so there it is. There's the pass back to Ben.
And here we go.
Untapped. Gonna draw his card. Nothing crazy. He says bolt you,
your
attack you. I think I would have attacked first just to make sure
too.
Before you show that bolt. Yeah, I'm going to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna attack you. That's for 4. Yeah. Not sure why Jeffrey somehow went up to 6 there instead of to 0.
Okay, Jeffrey Kieper and Ben Green here. Now, going to their sideboards, Jeffrey Kieper playing Junk List here. This is going to be a matchup where his opponent, in theory, is going to be putting on a hefty clock and then have that counterspell backup to hurt him. I think we're going to see Pernicious Deed come in order to fight that. I also think that we're likely to see, well, I'm not sure about likely, but the force of wills that his opponent showed him are very, very effective against some of the very few removal that he has. 4 Swords to Plowshares, 1 Maelstrom Pulse, and they can't stop the Abrupt Decay. But I think that getting more removal, just Pernicious Deeds, to be able to stop Geist of St. Traft is where we would start. And I don't know that we actually want Maelstrom Pulse. It's so slow.
It's
3
very slow.
mana, and it can't kill a bunch of the creatures that Benjamin Green has.
And it's a sorcery.
Yeah,
Which is another card. It's another kind of card that you don't see as much of in Legacy because of the plethora of instants available that do very similar things.
Wow.
Maelstrom Pulse, it's a good card. I think it's fine main deck, but I
Yeah.
agree with you. In this particular situation, he may not really feel the need for it. It's just a one-of, though. So.
Yeah. I think what we might see, on the other hand, is a card like Hymn to Torok just to grind away at the cards that Ben has. Now, there are other cards that are in there, obviously, but I'd start with those Pernicious Deeds and those Hymns. Hymns always good against a Force of Will deck.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out exactly how to fight Jeff Kieper's list. Jeff essentially trying to attack with reasonably sized dudes, but he also has equipment to back it up and an Elspeth Knight Errant to kind of provide another angle of attack.
I like Engineered Explosives from Ben Green. You can put it
take
for
out quite a
2,
few. Yeah.
and that kills Tarmogoyf and our Confidant.
And Stoneforge Mystic.
And Stoneforge Mystic, that's true. As well as Umezawa's Jite.
Yeah, so that's, I think, explosives on 2 would be excellent. He's also going to likely bring in a disenchant, just because if he knows that there's equipment, he knows Jite's in the deck. Actually, he knows the entire list.
Yeah, they get
This
to
is
see
the
each
top
other's
8.
lists.
So he's
going to
bring in
Stoneforge Mystic list.
Yeah, he's going to bring in disenchant for sure. He could bring in 1 copy of Rest in Peace, which would really only deal with the Tarmogoyfs and the Deathrite Shamans, but that could be enough. That could be enough of a reason to bring in. It's just a one of. It also deals with Knight of the Reliquary, I'm sorry. So he's got a very good reason to bring in that 1 Rest in Peace. And in fact, he could even bring in the Tormod's Crypt to do a one-shot kind of neutering of the graveyard and shrink a Goyf, make a Deathrite Shaman into a Squire and a Knight of the Reliquary into just a 2/2, at least temporarily. So he's got some options there.
These players are studying each other's lists now.
Yes. A 4th copy of Geist of St. Traft in his board.
Geist of St. Traft is an awesome card, but one of the things about Jeff Kieper's list, there are a lot of potential blockers.
Yeah.
Dark Confidant, Tarmogoyf, Knight of the Reliquary. It's just a fair amount to deal with there. The specialized lands that Jeff Kieper has for his Knight of the Reliquary include Maze of Ith, which you haven't seen in a while.
No, it was seen a lot in the Maverick list, easily tutored up by Knight of the Reliquary. You see Jeff has Knight of the Reliquary, so why not play Maze of Ith? But you're right, it's not a card that you see often outside of something like a lands build or a Maverick build. Basically a Knight of the Reliquary deck.
I mean, like, it's one of those cards that it's been around for a while, but hasn't seen play, I think, in a while.
I agree. It's one of my old favorites. One of the cards that when I saw it early in my Magic playing days, I thought it was awesome, and I wanted 4 of them in my decks.
You are an Azorius Mage.
Yes.
Romario that's Romario Neto in the other, in this bracket that these players are playing, has defeated his opponent Sam Rockus with Esper Blade. That means the winner here will be playing against Mud. Apparently there was a question on Twitter earlier about the name Mud. That name comes from the color of most of the cards in your deck, which are brown.
Yep.
There you go.
Mud is usually brown. I think if you were to be given a box of crayon, say, hey, draw some mud, it would be like black and brown.
Like there was people have called these kinds of decks various kinds of things. Mono Brown is an old name that used to exist, and there are others. This actually harkens back to the old frame where the artifacts really were kind of a brown color.
Yeah, I kind of miss that. I actually like that because when I hear the word artifacts, I don't think of something new. New and shiny and glossy. And,
me too.
MacBook, iPad. It's not an artifact to me. An artifact to me is something kind of old,
ancient,
right? This ancient, old, kind of dusty, browning kind of thing, and that was how it was in the beginning. Artifacts, Skull of Orm. Are they really, like, if they were to print Skull of Orm for some reason now, it would be silver? That just
they have. It was
strange.
reprinted silverly.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That seems awful. I'm sorry. I was making that as an example because of how ridiculous it is, but apparently they did. I guess if they printed in a new frame, or if they're printing it in some sort of promo version and it's in a new frame. Adrian's going to look that up for me because I don't think I've seen it. Yes, you're
8th
right.
edition.
Wow, I don't even
the
remember
shiny silver
that.
skull of Orm.
Yeah, so it seems so bad, and then I don't know. I get it.
You love
like,
the flavor, don't you?
I do love the flavor. I was attracted to this game because of what it looked like, and I'm not even talking about the fronts of the cards. I'm even the backs. Like, it looks like an old spell book. What are they gonna polish off the spell books now too? We're gonna change the card backs to make them all shiny and new. Change the font to like Impact or like Helvetica.
I'm really excited. Okay, so we've got a clarification. Metalworker Utter Domination is mud, says Cat Tribal. I'm sure that person is correct. I wasn't sure about the name title, but someone informed me earlier about the color, and that's what I was told, but I am not a Legacy expert, but that was what I was told a while back. Thank you. This is one of the reasons why we use Twitter, at SCG Live, hashtag SCGDC. So just to clarify and correct, Metalworker Utter Domination.
Yeah, pretty cool. There, and it is a pun though. Still, I think that's part of it. The mud equals brown equals artifacts is an intentional pun.
Yes.
So yeah, sure. It all works together. It comes together very nicely when Wizards decides to print artifacts brown like they should be.
Thank you, Cat Tribal. That's apparently their real name is Kirk Nicodle. Interesting, cool real name, Kirk. Thank you very much though for that. Now, if you're just joining us, I'm Adrian Sullivan here with Joey Pasco. On the left, Ben Green with Blue, White, Red Delver. On the right, Jeffrey Kieper with Junk. And I think that while it might feel like both of these players have mulliganed 2 or 3 times, that is not the case.
Bring back old borders, says Brewport Games. Brewport Games is a new store actually opening up in Baltimore in the next month or 2. That's actually where I'll be playing quite often. So shout out to Brewport Games, shout out to Charles L. Johnson, the third opening the store. I
have a quick question for you, Joey. What are you going to do when we live in the future where Tarmogoyf's frame is the normal frame?
I'll be fine with that.
Okay, just checking.
As long as they don't change it to like lime green or something, because that's the normal frame now.
And we've got a turn 1 play, Deathrite Shaman.
We do.
And a fetch from Ben Green.
Finds a volcanic island. Likely wants to deal with that shaman as fast as possible. Does, of course, play Lightning Bolt. We may be seeing one of those here. No, it's a Grim Lavamancer.
That's a good way to fight against the Deathrite Shaman. Provided you can get up to a 3rd card so in the graveyard so the Deathrite Shaman can't preemptively stop you. But Grim Lavamancer repeatedly getting a slow aim with his rifle, doing 2 damage every time for the cost of 2 cards in your graveyard.
And we see it's old school versus new school, though. It's funny because Deathrite Shaman often compared to Grim Lavamancer.
What do you mean old school? That's a new school Grim Lavamancer.
That is a new school version of Grim Lavamancer, but Deathrite Shaman's still newer than that Grim Lavamancer.
Swords to Plowshares. That's an old school Swords to Plowshares.
Yes. Send that guy farming.
I think that looks like a little bit like revised.
I believe it is revised. Could be revised or I think 4th. I think it was in 4th edition, wasn't it?
I believe so. And 2 lands for Jeffrey Kieper. Deathrite Shaman hanging out. Perhaps getting ready to nuke that Swords to Plowshares in his own yard to do 2 damage to Ben Green. Ben Green at 19, Jeffrey Kieper at 20. Ponder from Ben Green.
Yeah, Jeffrey says, you're good. Go ahead and ponder.
Pardon me. Swords to Plowshares brought Ben back to 20. My bad.
Looks like a Delver of Secrets in the top 3, along with, I believe, a land and 1 other card I didn't get a good look at.
If you're just joining us, I'm Adrian Sullivan here with Joey Pasco. This is the quarterfinal match. There are 2 matches done. This and 1 other match remain.
And Ben certainly is pondering that ponder. He seems to have made some sort of decision. Either that somebody unfroze time for a second and he moved, and they froze him again. Oh, they froze him again. Oh, there we go. Okay. Maybe just the video.
Nice.
So, ponder finishes up. And we've got a Misty Rainforest from Ben. So he's going to shuffle away whatever those top 2 cards left over from the Ponder were. Did get 1 card off of it, of course. We didn't get a good look at what it was. So a second Volcanic Island from Ben. And just waiting for Ben to shuffle. Jeffrey likely to activate that Deathrite Shaman at the end of turn to probably remove the Ponder now. What's that? Okay, we've got a slight delay. Not judge call, but a judge conference, let's say. So, looks like we're good.
I was thinking while we've been waiting about your comments about the brown border versus the steel border, and I can believe it. Artifacts do feel like they should be old. That stone or almost, bronze feel. We see a Delver of Secrets now, Ben Green dropping into play. And the Deathrite Shaman, I believe that it was activated at the end of the turn to nuke the Ponder in Ben Green's graveyard. Yes.
Yeah, so there's a card for turn for Jeffrey is a Swamp. He is flooded
So
again.
flooded.
And, wow. How many lands does he play? 38?
Well, he plays
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 10, 16,
24. In for 3. The Insectile Aberration knows the secret. Counterspell this.
Yeah, Abrupt Decay from Jeffrey, and able to find an answer for that 1 threat Ben has provided. And what card is that? That is some sort of altered version of a land.
That is a Tundra. You can barely see it. I'm actually quasi surprised that that's legal.
Ah,
Yeah.
that was what the
The usual legality requirements require that all of the text be legible. You can see the spot around land, the spot around the title of the name Tundra, and the spot around the text on the card itself.
kind of would like to get a better look at what the art is. It looks kind of like a dead fish, like
Or a
bones
seal
or something.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. It's not ground seal.
Ground seal. Attack for 1 with the Deathrite Shaman. Here it comes. Rest in peace, turning Deathrite Shaman into a virtual cheap squire.
Yeah. So Jeffrey passes the turn yet again. A brainstorm from Ben here. And he finds, I believe, Bolt Force Land. I could be wrong about the bolt, but I thought that's what I saw. Didn't quite see what he put back. There's a closer look at the Tundra. I don't know that
Is
helps
that a Tron
me at
bike?
all. Is that what it is?
You at home, hashtag SCGDC at SCG Live. Is that a Tron bike? I can't tell what's on that
what is
alternate
it,
art,
if you
but
can tell.
if you have an idea, let us know.
So fetches
Altars
up
are pretty neat stuff, but
certainly are. We have a lot of
hard one to
Altarists.
understand.
A lot of Altarists on the Open Series. Available to do some different altars. We saw some altars. We saw an altered Tarmogoyf in the Pro Tour coverage, altered to look like Snoopy. In the not Pro Tour coverage. I'm sorry. It was the Grand Prix coverage of the modern GP happened this weekend.
Deathrite Shaman untaps. We see another fetch land, Verdant Catacombs, put into play. And Jeffrey Kieper spends 3 mana, Knight of the Reliquary, a very powerful 2/2 creature, which gains a power and toughness equal number of lands.
Well, it gets
Uh-oh.
+X with the number of lands you control.
Yep.
So right now, yeah, you were gonna say, uh-oh. I'll let you finish your sentence.
That looks like a big gray ogre that can tutor lands out.
Yeah, which isn't awful. I mean, but it is certainly not the Knight of the Reliquary we've come to know and love. Rest in peace, completely making that knight. Well, not completely, almost completely making that knight into a gray ogre. And a Vendilion Click, end of turn from Ben Green.
Response from Jeffrey. Jeffrey fetches, perhaps to Abrupt Decay, or maybe Path or Source to Plowshares.
Potentially.
Probably, it seems like a Abrupt Decay since he already had white open, I believe. That's not a Bayou. I think that's a scrub land. That's untapped already, underneath the fetched Savannah.
I think it looks like a Bayou to me, but
It might.
we're going to find out what the card is.
The glare. It's either a Scrubland or a Bayou. Okay. Yeah, that's a Scrubland. Or sorry, that is a Bayou. Abrupt Decay on Rest in Peace.
So
Give me back my graveyard.
Yes, and give me back my capacity to make my my Knight of the Reliquary bigger. So, perfect answer to the Rest in Peace. Uncounterable.
I believe the question is, where do the Rest in Peace and Abrupt Decay go? I believe, I'm not 100% sure, I believe the answer is the Rest in Peace is removed and the Abrupt Decay is not, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
That makes sense to me, because if you think about the way it's happening, Abrupt Decay is resolving, destroying the Rest in Peace, so the Rest in Peace is destroyed while that effect is still kind of looming, and the Rest in Peace is removed from game. Abrupt Decay finishes resolving and goes to the graveyard because the Rest in Peace is no longer around.
We will soon find out as the judges tell us the resolution of this, but I believe that that's how that goes. In the background, a couple spectators left. There were, yesterday, 554 players for the Standard, completely filling up this this hall. Right now, we've got a number of workers clearing it out. We've got a few spectators left, and the top 8 players remain, or at least 6 of them.
And Mark Sun, at All Suns Dawn on Twitter, agrees that Rest in Peace sees itself upon leaving the battlefield, so it is the way we both believe it to be. But we're going to get confirmation from the judges. Other people also mentioning that they believe that is a Tron bike on the Tundra.
Yes, I hope it's a Tron bike. That'd be cool. Now, if you've seen the original Tron movie, it is not as good as you want it to be. But it is better than the sequel. Apparently our director does not agree, so sorry, Jeremy, if we're in different camps here. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to get some adjustment of the playmat there. It was a little bit tilted. I don't know why. It may have lost a match earlier.
Yeah, there might have been a small player earthquake that moved it. That is one of the other directors here, Choi there. I've been calling him New Choi since he is the newest of our directors/producers.
As if there were an old Choi.
Oh, no, whoever comes to be the next new person will get to be new whoever.
New Billy?
Yeah, new Billy.
All right, we're
still waiting on the ruling over there. I'm not sure. And meanwhile, Jeremy's sending me messages on our prompter letting me know that he really does prefer the new movie. I think what he's basically claiming is he likes the way that Jeff Bridges in the Neutron looks like the dude a little bit. Okay.
As Platypus
looks like
Jedi.
We got a couple of judges going over there, perhaps, to get this
apparently
resolved.
it's actually in Gatherer. Let's see, display rulings in Gatherer. While Rest in Peace is on the battlefield, abilities that trigger whenever a creature dies won't trigger because... Okay, that's not relevant. If Rest in Peace is destroyed by a spell, Rest in Peace will be exiled, and then the spell will be put into its owner's graveyard.
That's what I believed. Okay, go Gatherer. And meanwhile, one thing I think it's kind of fun there, on the hashtag SCGDC, Joe Valentine 8 writes that he thinks the Tundra looks like a Mystic Remora. That's one of my favorite cards in Vintage. It's a little archaic at this point, but who cares? It's still cool. Okay, and we have the head judge there hearing what happened, and I think he will simply say, here is the resolution of the spell.
Thank you to Platypus Jedi or Alaric Stein. Alaric, I'm probably pronouncing your name wrong. Alaric?
Alaric sounds like a way you might say it.
Platypus Jedi, I can pronounce that perfectly fine. So for the link to Gatherer, as we were able to read it out loud. So can we go on, says Jeffrey, and I think we're going on. So the Rest in Peace goes away. Abrupt Decay finishes resolving, and I think the Vendilion click is now We may have actually missed the resolution of the Vendilion Click's trigger. I think we did. Jeffrey may have just showed his hand and. Yeah, that was it. So we missed the trigger. Yeah, they didn't miss it. We missed it. So all right, Bolt from Ben Green to deal with Knight of the Reliquary, and Swords to Plowshares to deal with Deathrite Shaman.
Boom.
Ben Green successfully clearing Jeffrey's side of the board and getting in with the Vendilion Click. So Jeffrey down a game here versus Ben Green, and Ben's looking like he's starting to kind of take control of this game. Now Jeffrey's still at 17 life, plenty of time left for him to dig back in here, but he's going to need to draw some action rather than some lands.
Flooded out these last 2 games. Now, if you're just joining us from watching the Grand Prix San Diego, congratulations to Nathan Holiday for having won that, but that's all over now. Get here and watch some awesome Magic, the eternal format known as Legacy. You can see Ben Green on the left here with Blue, White, Red Delver, Jeffrey Kieper on the right with Junk, trying to come back from what looks to be another flooded game. He was flooded in game 1, flooded in game 2 here as well. He wastelands Ben Green's Volcanic Island.
Ben Green with a fresh Delver of Secrets, looking to flip next turn, looking to find some secrets on the top of Ben's library. It won't be a secret any longer if it is found there, though. Everybody will know it.
And a Deathrite Shaman from Jeffrey Kieper. Hey, you got anything? Is that going to work? Ben Green thinks. What's that do? I'm sure he knows. Untap.
Delver?
Delver says, I do not know the secret.
He says, it's a secret, I'm not telling you. In fact, yeah, that's what it is. See, it's a secret now.
Oh, Geist of St. Traff. That is a pretty hefty beatdown. Jeffrey Kieper needs to put something down very soon in order to survive this game.
Yeah, Ben is drawing all the gas while Jeffrey is just drawing lands, and, you know, Deathrite Shaman, as good as it is not the card that he needed in this situation. It is able to chump block.
For those of you who are just joining us, I'm Adrian Sullivan here in the booth with Joey Pasco. This is the StarCityGames.com Open Series here, live in Washington, D.C. 268 players today, 9 rounds of Swiss. We are down to only 6 people. The top 8 has had 2 winners already. We get a...
Finally, Jeffrey Kieper finds some gas, gets a Elspeth, and it meets a Force of Will. So Jeffrey having a lot of trouble. Even now, finally top decking something that could get him back into this game. And Ben has the answer. So Vendilion Click, Geist of St. Traff, and presumably Angel going to knock Jeffrey here to
that would be
life.
A swing for 9. There it is. There's the Angel.
Yeah, gonna knock Jeffrey to 2 unless he chump blocks. And it is a chump block. He's going to have to throw it in front of the Geist of St. Traff. Doesn't even kill it, which is really the feel bads there. Like, at least if you're going to put something in front of the Geist, you want to kill it. It is the smallest dude attacking, but it's the only blockable one.
NY Base B2 thinks that Tundra looks like a Star Wars snowspeeder. That's funny. And the Deathrite Shaman does nibble at a creature in the yard to gain some life. The Angel token goes away. Deathrite Shaman dies. So I believe we have 6 life for Jeffrey Kieper.
I agree.
Jeffrey Kieper needs to draw something now. It has to be a Pernicious Deed, I think.
He draws, I think, Bob. Dark Confidant, I think, off the top. Not really
and
enough.
That is it. Jeffrey Kieper quickly dispatched by Ben Green, 2-0.
And unfortunately for 2 of our top 8 competitors, their decks just did not want to cooperate. Now, it was a lightning fast match in our first semifinals where the combo deck completely ran over the rug deck that had no disruption. So in this case, Jeffrey's deck just had no spells. Barely any non-land spells in either game 1, at least the portion of game 1 that we saw, or game 2, which is, we just saw there. It just flooded out. So congratulations to Ben Green with Blue, White, Red Delver heading into the semifinals. I think I was calling these the semifinals. This is the quarterfinals.
This is the quarterfinals, yeah. That leaves us with, I believe, 1 match left. Oh,
no,
never mind. That match has ended.